Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood parts of real estate, open houses. Because if you're a homeowner, you've probably wondered, do open houses actually sell houses? And honestly, the answer is both, yes and no. And I've had open houses that directly led to offers. I've had open houses that generated backup buyers. I've had open houses that helped create bidding wars, and I've also had open houses where nobody who walked through ultimately purchased the property. So why do agents keep doing them? And what actually happens behind the scenes during an open houses? Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and giving you the insider version that most sellers never hear. Because open houses aren't just about putting a sign in the yard and hoping someone falls in love. There's a lot more strategy involved than most people realize. And after nearly 10 years selling homes throughout Connecticut, I've learned that the best open houses aren't accidental, they're intentional. Let's dive in. Most homeowners picture an open house like this. A buyer walks in, falls in love, writes an offer, done. And yes, sometimes that's exactly what happens. But that's not actually the main reason I host open houses. The real value is much bigger. An open house creates exposure, it creates momentum, it creates visibility, and most importantly, it creates activity around the listing. Buyers pay attention when other buyers are paying attention. If people are walking through the home, buyers notice. If they hear there were dozens of showings, buyers notice. If they hear multiple groups attended the open house, buyers notice. That creates urgency. And urgency is one of the most powerful forces in real estate. Now, I will be honest with you. I'm a huge believer in open houses. In fact, they're one of the biggest parts of my listing strategy. When I take on a listing, it's not unusual for me to host open houses throughout the launch weekend. Many of my listings are open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's very intentional because I'm not just trying to get one buyer through the door. I'm trying to get as many qualified buyers as possible to see the property during the period when excitement is at its highest. I'm trying to create momentum, I'm trying to create exposure, and most importantly, I'm trying to create urgency. The reality is that the buyers pay attention to activity. When they hear that dozens of groups came through over the weekend, when they see a steady stream of people walking into the property, when they hear there are multiple interested buyers, their mindset changes. Instead of asking, should I wait? They start asking, what do I need to do to win this house? And that's a very different conversation now. I've seen this happen over and over again. Some of the strongest results I've achieved for sellers came from creating an environment where buyers felt they weren't the only ones interested. Because competition changes behavior. Now, does every open house directly produce the buyer who purchases the home? No, but I absolutely believe open houses are one of the best tools for generating excitement, increasing exposure, gathering feedback, and creating the momentum that often leads to stronger offers. That's why they are such a major part of how I market listings. Let's talk about neighbors. Here is something sellers are always surprised to learn. A significant percentage of people who attend open houses are neighbors. Seriously, sometimes a lot of neighbors. And sellers often ask, why are all these neighbors coming through if they're not buying? Because people are curious. They want to see renovations, layouts, updates, finishes, pricing. They're comparing your home to theirs. They're wondering what their own house might be worth. But here is the interesting part. Neighbors can actually become a huge asset because neighbors know people. They know coworkers, family members, friends, people trying to move into their neighborhood. I've had neighbors walk through and say, my daughter has been trying to get into this neighborhood. or my friend is moving from New York, or even my coworker has been looking nearby. Those conversations happen more often than you think. So while neighbors might not be the buyers, they can absolutely help bring buyers. One of my favorite parts of hosting open houses is observing buyer behavior. You learn a tremendous amount because buyers don't always tell you exactly what they're thinking, but their actions tell a story. Some buyers immediately head to the kitchen. Some walk straight into the backyard. Some spend extra time in the primary suite. Some walk through the front door, and you can tell within 30 seconds that the house isn't for them. After doing hundreds of open houses, patterns emerge. You hear the same comments repeatedly. I love this neighborhood. The kitchen is amazing. The room feels smaller than the pictures. I wish there was another bathroom. Those comments are incredibly valuable because that's a real-time market feedback. Sometimes sellers think that they have a pricing problem, when in reality, buyers are all reacting to the same layout issue, or vice versa. Open houses give us information that photos and online views simply cannot provide. Here is another piece sellers rarely think about. Agents attend open houses too, and that's important because agents are constantly searching for homes that match their clients' needs. I've had agents walk into an open house and immediately say, I have someone who needs to see this. The buyer might have never found the property on their own, but their agent did. Real estate is still very much a relationship business. The more exposure a property gets between the agent community, the greater the chance of connecting with the right buyer. And sometimes that connection happens because an agent walked through an open house. Now, let's talk about something sellers often worry about: security. And it's a completely reasonable concern. You're opening your home to strangers. That's why preparation matters. Before every open house, I recommend that sellers remove valuables, secure medications, put away financial documents, remove personal information, and secure any firearms. Most visitors are very respectful, but it's always better to be proactive. An open house should showcase the home, not your personal belongings. Now, when open houses work best? Open houses tend to work best when several things are already working in your favor. The home is newly listed, the pricing is strategic, the presentation is strong, the property shows well, the marketing is well executed. When those factors come together, open houses can be incredibly effective. Not necessarily because one visitor buys the home, but because they create momentum. And momentum creates urgency, and urgency creates stronger buyer behavior. Now, when open houses actually don't work, and now let's be honest, open houses are not magic. If a home is significantly overpriced, poorly presented, or has been sitting on the market for months without addressing the underlying issues, an open house won't suddenly solve the problem. Marketing cannot overcome a flawed strategy. The fundamentals still matter: price, condition, presentation, positioning, and those things have to be right first. So, do open houses work? Absolutely, but maybe not in a way most people think. They're not just about finding one buyer who walks through the door, they're about creating exposure, generating momentum, gathering buyers' feedback, building urgency, networking with agents, and giving your home every opportunity to stand out during its most important days on the market. And when they're used strategically, they can become one of the most powerful tools in sellers' marketing plan. If you're thinking about selling your home anywhere in Connecticut and want to discuss the best strategy for your property, I would love to help. I'm Agnes Mroczka, and I will see you in the next video.